like that countdown as I'm coming in. So welcome everybody. And thank you for joining me. My name is Mary Jane Tracy. I'm a psychic medium, spiritual love of life coach, and astrologer. I come to you with the 411 of the Cosmic Highway and giving you a little bit of insight on what the cray-cray is of the world today and of the collective consciousness. And been muddling a few things about and looking at things. And first of all, a couple things I just wanted to say. I did write WTF Alberta, which is, we all know what that means. But the reason I wrote it, and just to let people who don't know or have not, who don't know, I don't agree with what is happening. I don't agree with the making it that we are under an emergency lockdown. I feel a lot of the numbers and things that are being posted about things are false. I think, and a lot of the information is not coming out to people, and it is being masked. Haha. And forcing people to abide by strict laws and not giving people the ability to think for themselves is the crime. And now here in Alberta, wanting to bribe us by giving you $100, like $100. If you think about $100, what is $100? It's really fucking nothing in the grand scheme of things. So there is a structure that is happening right now. And I think this weekend, today, the energies are really, the moon is in Leo. It's very beautiful. We do have a beautiful trine to Uranus. Uranus wants to bring in this newness, this creativity, and this substance. And that's what Uranus wants to do. So there's some beautiful aspects to allow us to step into our divineness, our divinity. It's there. This is a opportunity that is opening up for us to rise, to allow us to rise above what is going on, rise above a lot that is being forced upon people. There is beautiful aspects of transformation and change to really look at the relationships that we are in and the relationships that we want to have around us. We're coming into this energy, this gateway of saying, who do you want to be with? Who do you want to align with? Who are you? Who are the people within your relationship that help you and strengthen you and guide you? This is where the energy is coming in. And this is where, as we're in this balsamic phase of the moon, and on my Instagram live this morning, where we did a little meditation of coming to our heart center, of looking at, what do I need to know? And it was patience and perseverance and courage I received. So this is telling me that there are, with this, especially with Pluto in Capricorn, there's some, coming into a lot of squares with Pluto. Pluto is the triangle. Pluto is a triangle where it's like you and say that relationship, and what is that obstacle, or what is that piece that you are working on. So we have Pluto coming in, and he's going to have you look at things deeply within inside of you. What is your truth? What are you working towards? Where is your faith? Is the one. Faith is coming in. So this is about your truth, and your truth being yourself. Now, this is where it is an intense energy. There is the intensity coming up, and I've said September and October are going to be the craziness of a lot of the energies. Now, when we had that Saturn, if we go back, the Saturn Pluto conjunction that happened was only the beginning. That was only the beginning. And this is the a change that is coming forth, and a change within our society, a change that is coming in around us. And this is about us living in a world that we want to live in, living in this world, living in this, in our realm. And I have always said to people, how is your realm? Now, if I've ever, if you've followed me for quite some time, you've probably have heard me say that quite a few times. How's everything in your realm? That's your reality. Your realm is your reality. When we seek into other realms, when we seek into the consciousness, that's the illusionary realm. And this is where we are coming in to look at the truth of our direction, and coming into where we would like to create a more harmonious alignment within ourselves. Now, this is where I'm looking down at my notes right now. So sorry, I'm not looking up at the camera. This is our self-reliance and our divine union that is coming forth for us. And this is our partnership to make and create what it is that we want. And this is an eye-opener for many of us. And many people don't want to open their eyes. And many people don't want to see the flaws or the darkness that they in self carry. And a few things have come to my light, and I'm not going to say any names on a public forum, but I will say in private, but there are certain famous psychics and astrologers that I never really aligned with. I always thought they were kind of weird, but everybody would go to them and flock to them. And I'd always felt there was always something off with them. And this is when I've started to, I love it how things come across my desk and how information comes in. And where information is, certain people will say something about the famous person, and I'm just like, oh, wow, that's weird. But then you have quite a few other people saying the same thing, and you're just like, wow, that's pretty crazy. And I didn't do my eyebrows very well today, so just sorry. Just noticed that as I looked. But you, off topic, Mary, your eyebrows. But this is where, when people are not standing in their truth, you know it. You just know when people aren't standing in their truth. And this is where, especially with Virgo's about that fine tuning, about standing in your truth. And a lot of times people don't want to hear the truth that I give them, or they stop following me, or they unlike me or unfriend me, I guess, because I come to them with some truth in a reading, and it's something that is very heavy, and they just can't, they can't believe I said that. And this is where, for me, in doing what I do, is always staying in my truth. Not, my son goes, oh, Mom, you're always on conspiracy theories. Oh, Mom, you're all this. And I'm like, I'm the one who told you about a plague coming. I'm the one who told you about all this shit hitting the fan, but that's fine. That's your journey. And that's how I always looked at it with my children. It is their journey. I was only the portal that brought them into this world to help them to create their world and their pathway, right? And that's how I always seen it, is that the choices that they make are choices that they are going to have to live with. And the choices I make are the choices I have to live with. And for some people, that's very difficult. It's one of those, because I feel I don't own my children. Anyways, I won't go down that road right now. But this is where, with the guides are showing me of the fine tunement that's coming in, that we have to really start to fine tune, especially with Venus being in Libra, making our connections and our relationships And this is where the energy comes forth. And when I was talking about, with a lot of famous, is when we look at people wanting to become famous, people wanting to be heard, or people wanting to, I want to have that, all that of what they have, whatever it is, right? This is where my kids think I'm crazy warning them about the food shortages, but I guess, well, if you the food shortages, it's coming. I mean, if they listen to any of the broadcasting, it doesn't even have to be you and I, Jan. It's just listen to the news. They're coming out and talking about food shortages. When McDonald's can't have, when all the McDonald's can't give you a McFlurry, when you go to a certain fast food restaurant and they're all out of certain chicken, chicken or what have you, when GM is closing down shops because they can't get the chip. So have you heard any advertising about new 2022 vehicles? So this is where things are happening. And my guides are saying that many times people are following these false idols that they feel, well, they're rich, they're famous, they must know. And it's like, go to your heart and think about it. When Long Island Medium came out, I did not associate it with her. Like, people ask me if she's good. Possibly. I won't deny her gifts. She is good, but there was always something that I felt wasn't right with her. And the more that's been revealed in the things, it's just like, there's always a shadow side. And I'm a Scorpio. Like, I got a lot of fucking shadow sides. And I admit it. I know my shadow sides. And I understand those shadow sides. But I really work at those to make sure that I don't use a lot of the craziness in the shadow and go to the dark. My goal here in this lifetime, because I have a rising Cancer and a moon in Cancer, is to rise towards my emotions in the light, to rise from the depths of all that Scorpio and that occult stuff, right? And it's to rise above and make a difference. My Chiron is ahead of my Saturn because I'm a breaking away from the structures of society, and my Saturn is in Aquarius. Now, if your Chiron is before Saturn, then you are come to work with your Saturn, like work with the structures of what Saturn is. My Chiron is ahead, going towards Uranus, which is about the changes and the newness that has to be brought into this world. Yet it is a difficult world. It's a difficult road to take because I have to stay in truth, and I have to stay in my divineness, and I have to stay in my light. And sometimes it gets overwhelming and frustrated and in isolation because not everybody will agree with me or like what I have to say. And being a projector, that means I have to be constant, and I just have to continue upon my road. And whoever comes to me, and I have to wait for people to ask for me to teach them. They have to come and I will teach them. You ask me, I will teach you. You ask me for a reading, I will give you a reading. This is the energy that I'm in. I'm not a manifestor generator that can just go out and boom, create all this crazy shit. Maybe in the next lifetime, or probably in the last lifetime I was. This is a lifetime of being the constant person, and I feel like I'm riding a mule. I'm not riding a thoroughbred. I'm just slow and steady goes the pace. This is where we're coming in with this energy and this changes that are coming forth. And with society, this is where society is dying. Society is changing. The Saturn square Uranus is showing us that there's something that is changing that has to come into the newness. Now, when I go back to some of these, a lot of famous astrologers and psychics, and I've seen them, they've been on Oprah and they've been on different places, but sometimes they just bother me. There's something there that's just not right. And I have to trust that. They might come out with pretty cards and all this kinds of stuff, but somehow it's like when Doreen first came out, she came out and she was so genuine. She was so in that light, in that divinity. Yet I feel for her, she saw something and it scared the fucking shit out of her. And she went right back into religion, right into back into something that is safe and secure. And I know this, and I can hide away in all of this. And I'll denounce all of that that's over there that I know is the truth and the light and the way, but I will denounce it. And that's, where for her. And then there's others that use their abilities, but they use it in a very negative, false way to persuade people to do or act in a certain way. That is devilish. That is devilish. And this is where with this Pluto coming in, and when if I look through the different, and I ask people and I look at their Pluto and I say, okay, oh, you have a Pluto in Scorpio. Well, you are the survivors. You've come here to learn how to do survival. That's what you've come in here to learn. You've come in here to learn and utilize the energies and become the survivors and create this newness. Those with those Pluto and Sagittarius, I mean, you guys, you don't know shit. You don't know shit, and your beliefs are wrong. A lot of times with the Pluto and Sag, they feel they just know these things, and this is the way it is. But when I look at a lot of the young Pluto and Sag, and I have 2 Pluto Scorpios and 2 Pluto Sages, and it's just like, you guys, you're not getting it. You're not getting it. You're still hanging on to the illusion of a crumbling society, and I don't know how to show you differently. You're still believing that an institution of schooling and university is going to save you. When you look at a lot of things that are coming out, especially on LinkedIn, they're not asking for a bachelor degree or anything. They're looking for experience. Do you have experience in this? Because a lot of information and things that you can learn, you don't need. The only thing that you need to go to school for is possibly a doctor. Definitely, you have to have schooling to become a doctor. But poli-sci, IT, a tech, business administration. Why do you have to go to school to be an entrepreneur? And get a degree to be an entrepreneur? These are things that you can learn through a book. You can learn on, just Google it and you can find out information. Even when it comes to the law, people don't understand Canadian law. They don't understand. And this is what I've also said too, is that with Canada and in Australia, we're experiments. We're totally being experimented on to see how well we are going to be good people, good servants underneath the society. How are you going to be subservient to the master? But if you're not that person, how are we going to bring you into that? How are we going to bring you in? And this is this beautiful energy of the moon that is showing us, okay, what direction do you want to start putting your life in? What kind of relationships do you want to start aligning yourself with? And that's where, when we look at the energies, especially with September and October, is about relationship. It is a balance between the feminine and the masculine. And when we come into that balance of the feminine and the masculine, this is where we are having to look at our relationships. And society is going in a way where there is that dismantlement of the masculine and the feminine. And we are going to be seeing, as we go into 2023, and it sort of starts there when Pluto goes in there, because he retrogrades and then goes fully 2024, that we're going to see the depopulation of the world. And we're going to start seeing more deaths than births coming in 2023, 2024. And we're going to see it actually go by the time 2025 comes in. We're going to see a huge decline in the population of the world. It is a natural occurrence that does happen every time Pluto hits there. We're also seeing with that Pluto return with the United States, how their society and things are starting to change. So there's a change. There's something that's going on that is changing and dismantling the world that we are seeing. Do I think there's a war going on? Definitely. Definitely. But people aren't awakened to that as yet, because of all the shortages that are going to be coming out, and the energies that are there. The plague started with that Pluto-Saturn conjunction, and it didn't fully peak. It didn't fully peak until people started to get vaccinated. Now we are going to start seeing the truth of the plague. We haven't really seen the plague at all. And this variant, which is creating the new, which is, the shot is creating the new variant, which is creating, which is what is happening because of the, and I'm not a scientist, but I'm just going to go with the mRNA is the antibodies and the dependence that enhance our immunity system. And they've done tests with animals with this vaccine, but they haven't come out, and that they've showed that when they've had this vaccine and then they come out and then they come in contact with the original virus, it attacks the body itself. So there are red flags that are coming out, but they're not showing you in the news. Israel, like red flags. Oh, let's get the booster, but the booster is causing another variant to come out. And this is where you're going to find within about 6 to 8 months. This is why I said when this shot came out, you're going to start seeing some crazy things starting to happen in September, October, and then really hit the fan in December. This is where we need to start looking at our truth. And this new variant, which is going to bring in more deaths than we even thought. But that is because of the vaccine. Whether people want to believe it, look up in science magazines, go on to science.org, start looking into this more and more. There's so many nurses and doctors that are being pushed out and aren't even allowed to speak at this time. And this is where Virgo is all about fine details and finding the truth and finding how things are going and coming into your divineness and into your truth. That's what the Virgo is. The Virgo is that of that substance of coming into and creating a beautiful way of living your life in the harmonious of home and family and daily routine and health. I mean, Virgo rules health. It is the 6th house. It is the health house. So we have this plague is coming, and it's created by the vax and all the antibodies that were created in the system of the people by the vaccine, the real variant system that will overload your immune system with too much, and the proteins and the plague of that. And you're going to see more of that coming in when Pluto hits in 2023. Because people are just following the narrative. They're following that of this is what you need to do. This is going to happen to you. But when you come into your truth and you stand in your truth, you know that it doesn't feel right. Yet there is a false hope that, well, I need it because of whatever. But we're going to be seeing the decline of our health system. And we're going to see corporations evaporate. The other thing that kept on coming in, since they put that time, as soon as they put the time at 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. in Alberta, I thought, what the hell? Because I've had the vision before about prohibition of something that they're going to try and say, well, you don't need to be drinking so much. Well, probably don't, but try and ban some things or have more restraints on consumerism when it comes to drugs and alcohol, but push things that, you know, that the other things. So this is a self-reliant in choosing your people right and choosing the people you need to have around you. And this is people like maybe even in your general vicinity. This is even having people from different parts of the world. I have, and that's the beauty of it, is that, having that beautiful energies from different people from around the world. And we're going to be also, once Venus leaves on September 10th and goes into Scorpio, for the next while, she is not going to be happy. She is not going to be in a place where she wants to be. And this is all going to come in where we need to start to clean up our own selves and clean up our own shit. It took me a while to sit here and go through a lot of this and sit with my guides and sit with this and saying, okay, I want to come out with a message that I really want to bring in harmony and peace for people, that I really want people to come into. But we need to wake up. And with so much coming in and a lot that people don't understand, especially being in a monarch and being a Commonwealth country, that you think you have rights. At the end of the day, and I've said this before, and you can look it up, but in Parliament or a semi-Parliament system, reserved power may be a power with the head of state and without the approval of the branch or part of government, like presidential head of state, generally restrained by the cabinet or legislation. Constitutional monarchs grant pardon to dismiss Parliament, and PM refuse to dissolve Parliament or refuse or delay the royal assent to legislation. To hold royal assent results in the veto to a bill. The monarch can come in at any time and veto everything. And that's what people don't understand. At the end of the day, the queen, who you haven't seen too much lately, and you think she's old and feeble, who's the next in line is her son, Charles, who I believe knocked off his wife so he could be actually married to Camilla. Do you not think that they're in control? And especially what is happening in Australia and with Canada, the weirdness that's going on there. And someone came out with some pictures with Trump and the Queen. And I've also said, first time when Trump went to go see the Queen, I thought, oh, this is all a bunch of bullshit. And Trump is so pushy and all of this. And then I'm taking a step back and I'm saying, oh my God, what the fuck? There's shit going on down there. So if we don't hear it, it's not real. That's right. The truth is too ugly for people to want to hear. And this is opening up, and I'm warning people. I'm giving the red flags are out there. And God help me if I hope to God I'm wrong. September and October are going to be a fucking shit show. And you think that it's just going to be in Alberta that we're just kind of being locked down? It's gonna get cray, baby. It's gonna get crazy. And the shit's gonna start getting nuttier. So, and we're going to start seeing it by after the full moon, after the new moon, and heading to the full moon, which is in Pisces. So that's divinity. That's your divine. That's stepping into your light and your direction. And this is where things are just going to get weird, good or bad, but the intensity is there, and holding on to the illusions. So the intense energy is there. We got to allow ourselves to be free in the truth of being self Everyone has an opinion. Follow yourself to be free and be yourself can be a very difficult thing. And we see it in Hollywood all the time where people get into a yes, I want to be famous and I want all of this and they just follow suit and they lose themselves. They lose themselves because they fall into that Satanist cult that is in Hollywood. And why do you think they're setting up in Calgary? In Vancouver? Just I'm throwing that one out. And it's weird. It's so weird times. But great, amazing things can happen through all of this. And great, amazing people will come out and stand up for all of this. But we got to rise up. And we got to rise up to stand in our power and our strength and our divinity. And I use that word a lot. So there's beautiful aspects right now to help you to transform, to help you to align with your truth, right? And align within that truth. And Raylene says, who? What do you mean by who? Hollywood? Or do you who? I know a lot of who's. So this is, this is, I mean, Calgary is actually a very, very strong spiritual center that has a lot of vortexes. And it holds a lot of power here. Now that power can be used for good or it could be used for evil. Either or, right? Energy is just energy. It's how you use it. So there's a lot of movies. There's many like huge movie sets are all being set up. Ron Howard is in Calgary right now, setting up for some big movies that are going to be directed and produced here. Quite a few actors have been seen around town and stuff. So Calgary is becoming sort of the next sort of mini Hollywood place along with Vancouver. So there is that energy that's coming in, but it is about with Pluto about coming into being our honest truth. And much about, I mean, a lot of Hollywood could go back to Weinstein too, and how he got involved and how he could manipulate certain things. The crisis with the children, all of that, and a lot of things people don't want to realize is that a lot of these children are being sold into horrific, disgusting things. Why isn't Biden's son being exposed for the shit that he's done and the things that were on his laptop? So the connections and stuff that are there, definitely. And it's like unfolding. So here's the divine saying, okay, are you guys looking at this? He's unfolding all of this. Let's move into our higher status. And if we do that, if people actually started to this world, it's just like in Journey Club, one of the things I tell people or show them, if you become grounded, if everybody became grounded all at once in this world, boom. Grounding brings in awareness. Grounding brings in that transformation. Grounding allows for you to see things that you wouldn't normally see. When you're out there and you're being a pie in the sky and all over the fucking place, you're not able to see truth. You're not able to, come into it. But when you're grounded and you're connected as above, so below, you start to really see things in a new light and in a new way. And that's what we want. We want people to become grounded. We want people to see things in a new way and a new light. When Fauci comes out and says, oh, don't worry, everything's going to be okay. Okay, that's the time to fucking worry. When they're telling you, oh, it's okay, everything's going to be fine. Just do this and just follow these orders and you're going to be fine. And I'll give you $100. Okay. Fuck you. No way. And this is truth. This is truth. And you think, like right now, it's just the one vaccine, and then they're going to want you to boost a shot. And then you still have to go through, if you want to travel, you still have to get tests done that cost hundreds of dollars if you are going to leave the country. And you got to get a test done here and a test done there. And you got to make sure all the testing is done. I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot of times, but there is just so much. I mean, even someone wrote on my wall, and fine, if you want to follow the road, or you feel this is what you have to do to be vaccinated, God bless you, go for it. But you're going to find that there's going to be other things that are going to come out from it. And you can push away all those people that are unvaccinated, and then you'll see, truth will be shown. Truth will be shown. But definitely, I would start stocking up, because a lot of people who are not vaccinated, you won't be allowed to go into a lot of places, and you're going to be pushed to probably stay at home. And even to a point where when it comes to work or jobs or things like that, they're going to really start putting the crunch on people so that they won't be able to participate with society. The same thing that they did to the Jews in World War II, but not necessarily in concentration camps. They'll just oust you in different ways. It's kind of like cancel culture. So, which is interesting. But since we're in the dark phases of the moon, this is a time of releasement. This is a time of cleansing and clearing. So doing a cleansing and clearing. If you were in the fairy workshop, definitely go. I think it was week 4 or week 3. Bring out your brown candle. Do your cleansing and clearing rituals. A lot of underground restaurants will start up. Exactly. Yeah. It'll be like Prohibition, where you're going to have the speakeasies showing up. Oh, that'll be fun. I'll be in the corner doing readings. So we're going to see that, and we're going to see, how change is really going to be a positive thing. It can be a very positive thing, but as I said, the next 2 months are the months I'm going to dedicate them to Kali and to the goddess Kali, and her energies are coming in for the change and transformation for our highest good, because that's what she does. She always comes in for our highest good. But definitely, we're all going to go to a speakeasy or look into opening up a co-op in some sort. So stay in your light. This is a beautiful week, and the energies are there to open up, to help us, to guide us as we're moving towards this beautiful new moon in Virgo. The energies are there. If you are feeling, to be creative, get into something that's going to be joyful for you and creative for you, and bring in that fun, because the moon is in Leo right now and it wants to play. So get out and play and enjoy. Right now you can get outside, go outside, utilize the outside as much as possible, and connect with the people that truly are your people, and connect with the relationships that you want to create. And that's where we need to step into. So I'm going to leave you on that note, everyone. And my 1-hour readings are on sale for $90. Just an FYI, it ends tomorrow. And my new moon readings are mini readings that I record to you and send to you. If you want one, they're $25. So get a hold of me, and I will get you in to give you a reading. And if you want your new moon reading, I will get that out for you. And hopefully I should have it. Well, I won't say today, but we'll have it for you by tomorrow for sure. So sending you out so much love, right? Testing my own dried seeds for germination as the weather is beautiful. Oh, great idea, Lisa. Fabulous idea. Yeah. So definitely, if anybody harvesting your seeds, harvesting, if you grew tomatoes, harvest your seeds from your tomatoes and that, potatoes and stuff like that, definitely. So you can even, I think you can plant garlic right now, if I'm not mistaken. Look that up, but I think you can start planting garlic and stuff. So you can have garlic throughout your winter or have it by the springtime and stuff. So garlic and there's a lot of different, I've followed a lot of really cool people on YouTube and on TikTok. And then I've looked at their stuff, you know, fall is the best. Okay, cool. So there's a lot of things that you can be doing for that. Thank you always for wonderful words every day. Thanks, Dee Dee. So sending you guys out so much love. Stay in your light, stay in your power. We're in some crazy, as I say, we're heading into the thick of shit. So I guess I won't be getting my hair cut for a while. It's just going to continue to grow long. So have a blessed one, everybody, and we will talk to you soon. And may the Lord and the Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you in all you say and all that you do and all that you be. Blessed be everybody, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.